We have Simon from CallCabinet coming in. Hello.
Yeah, it will move. Don't
Yeah.
quite happily readjust accordingly.
Is that better?
Stay very close to it and speak up.
Is that better? Oh, well, we don't know. But yeah, thank you very much for having me anyway.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. So we've had hardware suppliers on so far.
Right.
I guess you're not really a hardware supplier.
We aren't hardware, no. We're a compliance call recording facility. So we are able to record Microsoft as well as multiple other platforms. And we are then able to analyze it with our built-in analytics service Transcribe. We also have automated PCI redaction as well. So we're a call recording solution for compliance and for other reasons.
Mate. So what is legal compliance rules that people need to apply to? I guess there's some of it's GDPR based, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we're a GDPR company. So all of our data, all of our information is stored in a compliant manner using a 256-bit rotating encryption key. We use the Azure environment to store all of those calls as well, data sovereignly. So they're all stored wherever they're recorded. And then people have access only to their own call recordings. And we have licensing to separate who can see what calls, and enabling people to only have access to what they're supposed to.
Okay, cool. And that impresses people when they come to the stand, does it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, also, especially we work with a lot of the financial services industries for compliance call recording. And so we're able to work across multiple different platforms as well. Because obviously this is a Microsoft event, so we obviously want to talk about Microsoft. But the other beauty of what we do is we can record multiple other platforms, and we're certified by Cisco for their full stack, for Avaya, for Zoom, for multiple other platforms. And it means if they do have a mixed estate, they can have one single call recording solution for all of those different platforms and access them via the same portal.
So does that integrate into my Teams client? So when I hit record, it's going to record on your system?
So when you hit record within Teams on the desktop application, no, that will actually store within your own environment as it currently does.
Yeah.
But this is all in the back end. So we automatically record every single call. We send a bot to every call. It's automatically recorded. You can still have an announcement that this call's being recorded or a visual cue, but we record all of the voice. So our licensing, it's on a per user, per month licensing basis. And that license includes all of the voice, whether that's Teams to Teams, Teams to PSTN, or Teams meetings. And we'll capture all of that voice within within our system.
So also for call center things, that's just a beautiful solution.
For training purposes, this volume will be recorded.
Exactly. I mean, so we work with a number of different contact center solutions, including, for example, CC for Teams, who actually are obviously a contact center solution built into Teams. And what that enables you to do is still record the voice within Teams, utilize their contact center capabilities to be able to obviously send calls in different directions and have agents pick them up. But then, as you say, once you take our calls, you then can analyze them, and this is where we get to the next level. This is where we actually take that data, because call recordings is data at the end of the day, and usually they're stuck in some file, stuck in some storage server with people who don't have really any access to it and can't do anything with it. What we do is we then take those call recordings and then we transcribe them and then analyze them using our own built-in analytics service.
I bet it's AI based.
Pardon?
I bet it's AI based.
There is now an element of AI built in.
Surprise, surprise.
Yep. The magic words that I'm sure you've heard a number of times at this event.
We're trying to understand what it means. AI,
how much does the
something.
revenue go up when you just mention, oh, it's also AI based, or there's an AI component?
I think he purposely wasn't going to go down that line until I mentioned it.
No.
But it obviously does add more to the ARPU, which is really great. The important thing about this is if you're talking from a reseller perspective, because we're a channel-based call recording solution, when you're talking about a reseller base, they get to add on so much more revenue per seat that they're adding on when they add on call recording and when they add on additional features. So there is big selling points from that perspective for people who want to be able to take this solution and then resell it on to their own customers.
Yes.
But from our perspective, you take those calls, you can analyze them from voice and sentiment, keyword searching, abandon rate, how many times people have profanity, for example.
For fuck's sake. Okay.
And also topic detection.
Yes.
Yeah. I see the software running over there because we can see the
Yeah, absolutely.
software.
It's just behind my right
It's
shoulder.
very nice what you can see, but how customizable is it? Can customers customize the graphics, and what can they do with it?
So within our, that's a very good question. Within our standard analytics, we've obviously standardized it as best we can because it's an out-of-the-box solution. However, within our standard analytics, there is still the capability for you to be able to create your own automatic quality assurance scorecard. So what that means is you create a scorecard, a questionnaire. So did the agent use the corporate greeting? Did they ask the person's contact details? Did they get etc.? And then you can create as many different within reason questions within those sections, and then you can analyze based on those specific questions. So that is fully customizable for that customer to be able to do. But then we also have our advanced analytics system, which basically means you can personalize all of the dashboards. You can build them from scratch. We have our own data scientists in-house who will work with the customer to be able to build those custom dashboards to their specific requirements and
Would
needs.
that be in Power BI or?
It is in Power BI.
Oh, nice.
So we have Power BI built into our own system, so it's the actual dashboards
That's
are Power
nice.
BI driven, but built into our own system. And you don't actually need Power BI licensing in order to be able to run them.
And that's very cool.
Yeah.
If you know something about Power BI, you do know how powerful it is, and you do know what you can all get of it. So if you can have your data for something like a call center or a help desk or something, you can create amazing things and get people even better and better.
Absolutely. If you're quality manager or the call center manager or the HR person in charge of GDPR, whatever, you can get so much of that information just relevant.
Yeah, and that's the idea. The point is, a standard quality assurance manager, if they're doing this job manually, and don't get me wrong, you can do it manually with our system as well. We have a manual quality assurance capability, but the average quality assurance manager can check around 3 to 5% of all calls, just by obviously the nature of the beast. There's one of them,
Of course, it takes time.
and 100 people. But with our system, once you do put in the analytics service, you can then analyze 100% of the calls, and then choose those 3 to 5% that you actually want to check based on the feedback that we're feeding out. Whether that's in the graph formats that we've got about the key metrics that have been hit that day or that week, or whether or not there's the silence time. If you want to look at which agents have had a heavy amount of silence time, which generally gives you the conclusion that they don't really know what they're talking about because they're having to look up things, or they're mumbling over their words, or over talk even. All of those different metrics we have built into the system, and you can get them at a click of a button.
Yeah.
So if you look at the breakdown of the company, how long has the company been around, by the way?
So it's been around since 2012. It's actually, our head office is in Boca in Florida, but we're a global business, so we've got offices obviously here in the UK, in South Africa, in Florida, in Europe, and in Australia as well. And in the UK we've been going about 5 years, but we're already obviously quite a big name out in the marketplace, and we're growing all the time.
So typically, as an organisation, I guess you've got hardware people, of course, the sound people, of course, analysts. What is the breakout of the company typically? I mean, do you get mostly data scientists, or do you get mostly analysts, or mostly technical people?
So we've got a large technical base, and funnily enough, we have been bringing in a lot more technical people more recently, especially on the analytics front, to be able to help build those specific bespoke needs that people are requesting. But then, with anything, the nature is you're going to grow the sales team as well. So we have sales teams in each one of those different regions. From a support perspective, we don't actually have a major support centre in the UK. We utilise our South African team. They've been actually around the longest, and therefore, and it means we've been able to create a good hub of
knowledge experts.
Experts, exactly, who can all feed off each other as well, to be able to answer. And obviously, they're on the same time zone as us.
That
and then
helps.
we also have a US sales and team as well, and support team. But we're spread. There's different. We've got teams in different areas to be able to capture the needs of the different regions, basically.
Nice. And what's your customer base like? Banking, I'm guessing, is high on the list, but there must be others that specify or require the kind of compliance you're talking about.
Yeah, so we do work with multiple different types of vendors, whether that's from wholesalers or just resellers, to be able to, whether they're vertical specific, so we've got specialists who just work in financial services market, or in the legal market or contact center market, but then others who range across the board. So we've got a number of our partners and resellers here as well, so it's always good to see them, and actually some of them attending the exhibition as well.
Neat.
I didn't add a
Oh
question.
no, you gave me the look like
The look.
I want to say something. So I was like,
The one
"Look."
thing I know we touched on it briefly. The one thing I also, we half mentioned was our AI and GPT built in. So we have the capability within the platform to be able to summarize calls as well. So you can take a call of however length, and you'll get a GPT summary of that call. And we also are able to give you you're able to ask it questions. So chat with your data. And if people do want to hear more about that, we're presenting tomorrow morning on one of the speaker slots. I think it's 9:15, and we're going to be talking about how we work or how we complement the Microsoft Teams and Copilot environment with the additions that we can bring to the platform.
That's brilliant.
Do you ever see it replacing that by becoming a full service for being able to sort of provide knowledge, intelligence? If you're transcribing every call anyway, there's a huge amount of data there to bring all kinds of information out that people wouldn't even thought about.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we're doing. We were able to analyze that and bring that to the customer, to the end user, so that it's not trapped. That's the point. It's unlocking that data and giving it for them to be able to utilize.
I think it's even more than that, because today, how many calls do we even record? I mean, a lot of them, yes, but with this system, you can actually, something that has been a black box for years is now open, and it opens up a whole new can of information that we do with suppliers and customers and whatever. So all that information that was never available is now suddenly available for tracking, finding new sales opportunities, things like that. I think that's
100%.
just brilliant.
Yeah, and that's the premise of our analytics solution. It enables people to be able to have that information at a touch of a button. They don't have to go searching through it. They don't have to play those calls back. We even itemize topics, so you can create the topics you want to search for, and it will bring up all of the calls within those topic bases and enable you to be able to go into them and check them and find more information. Really giving the power back to the end user from a knowledge perspective.
Nice. And a show like this, mostly MS Teams people, I guess, so they're excited by the idea. I mean,
yeah,
has
exactly.
it been positive for you? So far it's only half a day, but it's not your first time you've been here, I guess.
No, we were here last year, and funnily enough, I did an impromptu chat with you last year as well, which was really good fun. Hence why I signed up again to have another chat with you today. But yeah, we are. I mean, the conversation is predominantly around Teams here, as you would expect. But I don't think anyone now, I think they say that the average end customer is at least 2.5, I don't know where they get the half from, but voice platforms that they utilize. And especially when you've got a lot of businesses going through purchasing and you're obviously buying in different products. And the beauty of what we can do, as well as obviously the analytics, is if they do have multiple different voice platforms from different businesses and they do want to migrate at some point in time but aren't quite ready, we can record all of those, keep all of their calls in one place, and then when they're ready to migrate to one solution, they've got all of their voice there ready. And for that matter, if they are moving from an alternate call recording solution, we can ingest those legacy calls as well. So we can bring all of those calls that were maybe held in different places, including on-prem, and store them all in our storage environment in a secure manner, and enable them to search them in exactly the same way as if they were recorded by us the day before.
So
Anouk?
if you want to get people to your booth, there is a lot of swag here on the table. There are some of you guys as well.
Yeah, there is definitely some swag. So we've got some really nice cups and socks. The socks have been really popular. And then the thermos cups, which are really, really good.
Nice. They are beautiful.
Socks. Rain in his socks. He likes socks.
Yes. I already got my pair laying aside. Yeah.
They're really comfy socks as well. And we also have a couple of other bits and pieces on the stand still as well. There's some hats. There's also a raffle. So if people do want to come along, they can enter a raffle to win an iPad as well. So multiple reasons to come and have a look and see us on the stand.
the point?
What
It's
can they
only
win
an
with the
iPad.
raffle?
An iPad.
An iPad. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Don't like iPads.
You don't
Wow.
like iPad.
I'd rather
I
have a
knew someone would
Surface.
say that. I thought about a Surface Pro, but
It's a Microsoft conference. Did you
I
not
know.
notice?
That's why I thought about a Surface Pro. But
Yeah, but many people would like an iPad as well.
Why? I wouldn't know where to start. Honestly, stick an Apple in front of me and I go, what? Even after probably being the longest in computing from a while. So.
It's not because you don't like the iPad, other people don't like
well,
it.
I'm sure he wants to get a bigger audience as possible.
well, I'm sure even if they don't like the iPad, they'll like the call recording. And
They'll
voice
like the
recording.
price
Yeah.
it gets on eBay. Let's put it that
Exactly.
way. That's
Or
good.
they give it to
Exactly.
I
their
have one
wives or
interesting
kids or
question.
something like that.
Yeah, the kids will love it. So, what's your background? Because I guess this is quite a niche area, isn't it? I mean,
From a call recording perspective.
Yeah.
So I actually came into the telecoms industry over COVID. I was in a completely different industry
Yeah.
before that. But
You were a
si-
butcher or a
Pardon?
baker.
A
No, but
candlestick maker.
no, I wasn't. I was actually in textiles. So I used
There
to sell
you go.
curtains
Yeah.
and bedding.
Okay.
But I came into the telecoms business because I always wanted to get into this industry.
Nice.
It's an industry which really excites me, and especially it was the perfect time over COVID because obviously the type of solution that we were selling was something that everyone needed because all of a sudden everyone's automatically having to switch into
Yeah.
Teams
Yeah.
and needs a call recording solution to be able to go on the back of that. So we were there in order to be able to help them out. And the beauty of it in some ways and about joining in that period of time was every meeting was online, obviously, through
Yeah.
Teams or through various other things. So you were able to learn quite easily remotely because all you could record calls, you could transcribe calls, and then you could actually learn from that. So it was a really great time for me to be able to learn to transition into a completely new industry, and I haven't looked back.
Nice. Well, Simon, thank you very much for joining us. It was interesting again. A little more organised this year than last year.
Well, it was a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much.
No,
I really
you're more
enjoyed
than
it as
welcome.
well.
Thank you for the socks and stuff. People are looking at them all the time, but they've got the best title. I mean, they're swanky socks. They're
They
not
are.
happy socks or they're swanky socks. Very
I
posh.
can't take credit for that bit. That was the name of the company.
No,
who
no,
made them,
your
but-
marketing ladies or gents, I'm sure, with
Exactly.
a purpose. No, that's
Exactly.
good. All right.
Right.
Thanks
you
very
very
much
much for
and
your
have a
time,
great
everyone.
rest of the
Really
show.
nice.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go. Call centre. We don't even think about it, do we?
No, and while I was talking to this man, he was talking about GDPR purposes, but I was suddenly thinking like, how many sales opportunities are lost when your call center people talk to your customers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much more revenue could you get with a solution like this that would just say, hey, this customer called, sentiment was not very good, he had a problem with this tool might be, or this product that we sell might be better for him or whatever. So
No, what's interesting is that it's covering all calls, internal calls through Teams, your calls coming in and out through your numbers, and I'm guessing if you're managing private lines to things like mobile services, you're picking those up as well.
I guess so.
A single location for all data.
I love that. And it's as I said earlier as well, like this used to be like a black hole.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
communicate so much. We videotape things on YouTube right now, but I mean, all that information normally is lost, and now you can just have it transcribed, be there as knowledge in your organization, and that is so powerful.
No, that's good.
That is what people are looking for to have. And an easy way to read all of the data.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of data to be collected though, isn't it? So you're transcribing every single call coming in and out, and anything associated with sales process, finance process, that kind of stuff. I'm guessing you need to, keep it, store it, analyze it, put
Yeah.
it together. A lot of data that you'll have available.
Well, if you actually
Yes.
do it, I mean, most companies wouldn't even do that.
But
Well, go on.
isn't there a lot of data already being saved without a tool like this to put up the graphs and all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's already a lot of data saved, but this is a black hole. There's
Yeah.
no information about it, and we're talking all the time. We're doing Teams meetings all the time, so yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, but I guess you're going to want to make the effort to do something about it.
Yeah.
I know that this is not new. I mean, I worked in the stockbroking industry for years and everything is recorded. But those days it was a tape. And I remember you're trying to find a call at a time and date that something had to happen. So digitization made a huge thing. And I guess AI has now basically turned that data into a real salt mine.
Yeah.
Cool. All
Very
right.
cool.
That was CallCabinet. And interesting. The CallCabinet was what we used to call the cabinet with the tape machines in. So when you
Yeah.
had it in the, it was fun.